Welcome everybody to Unrevealed. We have been in partnership with Playground and Ja and her team, her exquisite team, for the last 2 years since we started this in 2021. This is our third year of producing this. The initial intention behind Unrevealed is to bring together high-performing individuals like yourselves to come over here to get your dose of wellness, to get your dose of community, and to get your dose of nightlife and social. And that's what we produce here. So for the whole week, from when you wake up till you go to sleep, you come over here, vibe out with us, engage in productive conversation, and have basically happenstance hit you. And that's why we're here, right? We come to these cultural moments so that we could connect with one another, we could collide and figure out collaborative opportunities. That's what we're all about. And we're just so blessed and happy to have been connected with Playground, which, as Ja just mentioned, it's wild to say, like, to hear her say it, that we are in partnership with Art Basel in our third year. But yeah, bringing everything on chain now and moving forward and really kind of putting the systems in place. It's going to take a community like this, and I know that in this upper cabana, everyone could get it done together. So appreciate y'all, and I'm going to pass it back to Ja if you want to introduce the panel. This is my executive co-producer, Uso, and thank you, Uso. But welcome to Unrevealed. Please stick around. Tonight, obviously, we have the Playground Party and Summer Party, the Summer Playground Party. And then that rolls right into, we're doing an art party tonight, which about 30 to 35 artists are going to be painting live around DJs, as well as Disrupt Miami, which is the collective community here in Miami, coming together to also host a bunch of community tonight. So everyone's invited. Again, there's no fee for anything in Unrevealed. It's just good people and good vibes. So appreciate y'all.
Thank you. So I built Playground to bring people together. My background's in advertising and media, and I saw that there was a lot of audience growth, but what people really wanted was just to find belonging, self-expression, and communities where everyone could find a shared commonality of all their different interests. So what you'll see here is a very international crowd. We've got the tech leaders from the top VC-backed blockchains, top tech infrastructure leaders. We've got platforms who are building on that infrastructure. Playground is the first NFT ticket to launch on Sui mainnet today. And thank you. We've got communities from all over the world who are building and co-creating and collaborating and contributing to each other. And this event, it really is an example of that. I feel that everyone came together to co-create this event. Unrevealed hosting, Surfcomer hosting, all of the wonderful women and communities and social impact leaders in the room to make this happen. So without further ado, my friends, my partners, pioneers of all shapes and sizes, I would love to tell the story through the lens of the creators in the room and the tech leaders here today. So our first panel is called Our World, Our Playground, social impact panel moderated by Destiny. And I'll let the panelists introduce themselves and Destiny herself. So here you go.
As Ja said, welcome to Our World, Our Playground. We're going to be talking about some Web3 organizations that are working hard to make social impact through the work that they do. As I mentioned, I am Destiny K. Chambers. The K is silent. It stands for danger. I'm the VP head of marketing for Prompt. We are a creative marketing agency, a bit of a love child between renowned Lippy Taylor, a well-known PR agency, and 12 Note. Also really well known for their purpose-driven digital work, but enough about them. A little bit more about my background and why I'm here with you guys. D-list socialite, self-made thousandaire, but more importantly to this subject, I'm a web tour. And so the goal here through the work that you do and what we're going to be talking about today is to kind of bridge that gap for people like myself. And in addition, I have a number of intersecting underrepresented communities that I belong to, and how you're bringing us along for the ride. So here we are doing it in real time, and you're doing it every day. So this discussion is just going to talk about the ways in which you guys are fostering community and making that social impact across diversity, inclusion, sustainability. We are going to get a little bit into what it is that your organizations do in the first question. So if you want to kick it off by just saying your name, your company, your title, that would be great. Nesma?
Hi everyone, I'm Nesma. I'm the founder of WeCare Impact, and today I'm here to represent WeCare Impact, Confusion and Joy, and Thousand Faces. So a little bit about these companies. WeCare Impact is a creative agency and consulting firm that powers social and environmental change through leveraging arts, tech, and community. Confusion and Joy has been my co-producer in Shine to put a brand activation for Thousand Faces, which is an investment platform for female-led startup that are making an impact. So we're super excited to be here with other wonderful leading Web3 companies and inspiring individuals that are trying to co-create and steer technology towards meaningful applications. So excited to share the mic and excited for you guys to discover the art that we have curated for you. So thank you for being here.
Amazing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Narvaez. I am the founder and managing partner of Rayo Capital. We're an early stage, pre-seed and seed stage fund, backing founders building the future of finance and infrastructure. Our community arm is Web3 FAMILIA, and that's where I'm here representing. And we do activations and resource aggregations for founders, developers, and community builders in Web3. We've done activations across every major crypto conference in the United States, as well as Latin America, across Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and Brazil.
Amazing.
Hey everyone, my name is Emily Carrig. I'm founder of True Stars, which is a community and a magazine that amplifies underrepresented voices in Web3. I'm a content creator myself and want to build a magazine that amplifies other content creators and helps them to monetize their work, get visibility, and, get visibility for what they're doing. So, thank you.
Amazing.
First of all, thank you for making this happen, that we can just gather, listen to the music near the swimming pool, and at the same time talking about tech and art and about this huge gap sometimes in between, especially between digital and physical, and trying maybe to build this bridge, because I suppose that our goal in general as a creative people, as the people who think and feel, is making bridges in between, building bridges. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for making that. My name is Asya, and I'm a founder of CITYX NFT art collection. Actually, it appeared because the war, unfortunately, I didn't want to talk here during this day about that, but the war in Ukraine started almost 2 years ago, and my mom, she has a huge collection of contemporary Ukrainian art, and it's more than 500 avant-garde pieces, most of them are beginning of the 20th century, and we understood that we have not enough time to put this collection in some safe place, to send it somehow, to pack it somehow. That's why we tried to find another decision, and it was an NFT format, beautiful format as a tool. We digitized almost the entire collection, and we started to make drops, showing our art, searching supports through digital tools, NFT again as a tool, and trying to hold on somehow the ecosystem of my beautiful native country. But then we realized that there are so many wars, unfortunately, around. Fortunately, we're here in a safe space, that we need to think about physical, fragile art all over the world. And that's why our third drop is all about Armenian collection of art. And then we want to make Taiwan and also Malé, that is a capital of Maldives, that kind of going to disappear in 10 years and they will go under the water. So there are so many different circumstances and so many talented and unique phygital art, I would say phygital. We want to talk about that and to make people to merge this digital and physical borders. And this beautiful thing, the name is a WoCube, and this is a new opportunity, new gadget for all digital art curators, art lovers, art makers. Not only, also for the kids, of course, because it's a wonderful games. But inside, you can build your own gallery without walls, where you can just present the art you want to spread out, you want to make recognized, and you want hold as a ledger, as a crypto, as NFT. So we'll talk a lot about all that.
I love that comment you made about a gallery without walls. That's a really brilliant way to describe it. And Aja, you naturally kind of segued us right into the first question very organically. So I'll open up this question to the rest of you on the panel. Can you share with us how your entrepreneurial journey began and how it actually led you to leverage Web3 for social impact and your specific cause?
I mean, for me, it's definitely been a long journey. I grew up in many different places around the world, ranging from Algeria, France, Ivory Coast, Senegal, the US. And so that upbringing really expanded my mind and my identity to be connected to our common humanity and to understand that at the end of the day, we're all the same and we each have something to learn and bring and have something that brings value. So that inspired me to become a bridge between cultures, between communities, and to inspire people to join the story and become actors of the solution. So I really wanted to make an impact, but I understood that like deep down, at the root of it, we had a narrative problem and we had an experience problem. So I believe that art, and when I say art, I mean all the arts, like from music to film, you know, to physical to digital. It's a vehicle for us to go beyond the intellectual, you know, ideas, systems, and frameworks that we have created, and to really connect from an emotional standpoint. And I think from that place, can we truly be touched, moved, and therefore inspired to make a difference. So technology came as kind of the implementation of this value-driven culture. And so if we had our culture driven by these values, then the outcome of our technologies would be more beneficial. And it wasn't to create tech just to create it, but to create it to really create beneficial outcomes for society, for our communities, and for the world that we live in. So how do we steer technology, especially looking at innovation and all of its different potential, to be a powerful lever to create a better world for all of us? So this is kind of the idea of like bringing arts, bringing tech, and then bringing community, which is the glue that makes it all work. It's not going to be sustained. It's not going to happen if we're not getting engaged and if we don't become the change that we want to see. So that has kind of been the leading narrative and light, you know, that has propelled me. And the rest, right, it's been exploration, you know, and then from one thing to another, working both in the film industries, consulting for NGOs, for multilateral institutions such as the World Bank, the UN, getting into VR, AR, and then just really playing with these levers and understanding how do we move things forward, how do we invite others to join us, how do we flip the me to the we, so we care and we can truly make an impact.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Well, Web3 Familia, the way I like to describe it, is a combination of many things. And I want to give sort of context of my background, and I think it all ties it in, right? So, first-gen Latino kid from Queens, New York City, graduated college and broke into investment banking, and I was part of a nonprofit there called Alpha. Alpha is the largest Latino finance community in the United States. And they allowed me and sort of were that big buddy, big brother, big sister program that allowed me to understand sort of how to negotiate my first salary when I was in banking, how to ask for a promotion, how to dress, right? Things like that. So anyways, I did that for 10 years. I worked in banking for about a decade, and I've always been on that board. And Alpha has always helped me along my career to sort of just lean in for questions that sometimes people don't talk about, you know, how to grow a team, how to, you know, resolve conflict or things like that. And then obviously I left banking and after about a decade, and I've been working in venture capital for about 4 years now. Web3 Familia is a culmination of my career in banking, my time in nonprofit, which is Alpha, and then my sort of 4 years in venture capital where I quickly saw that there was no community to help the Latino speaker or the Spanish speaker with anything or many things, right? So that's how Web3 Familia was born. That's how I described. It's a culmination of many things, and Web3 Familia is just a community and a safe space for founders, for developers, and community builders in Web3 to come, to learn, to exchange ideas, and we provide a lot of resources and grants as well. So I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, that's so inspiring. So my background is actually in traditional fine art. I actually worked in the New York art world, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to my story because I got into crypto back in 2020 when the pandemic hit and the market was like really, really down. I had of course heard of crypto, but I hadn't actually used it or bought it myself. But I started educating myself on it, and I just got sucked into this rabbit hole, and I started posting online, like on Twitter, and then also on LinkedIn of all places, which you would think wouldn't be very Web3 friendly, because Web3 is very like stick it to the man type of thing. And I started posting on LinkedIn for that very reason, because I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm not working for anyone anymore. I'm gonna start doing my own thing. And yeah, so I don't know how it happened. I gained a following just by posting about like what I thought, and I attracted other people who thought the same as me or resonated with what I was saying. And that's how I built community. And I would say probably a year later, I started building True Stars, which really ultimately what it is about is being your true authentic self. And I think that Web3 is really the place where you can explore your true self, and you can be taken seriously in a way that, you know, in most industries, most people are just written off because they don't have the skills, or they don't fit into this cookie cutter of like what's expected. So yeah, and then True Stars sort of, it's evolved into a media brand. We're building a decentralized online magazine, and we want to give creators a voice and let them be heard, because at this point in time, you know, things are really like amping up in the market again, and people are still listening to the same people. There's still a lot of the same problems that there are in you know, the traditional systems. People listen to top influencers, but there's so many creative people, so many important voices to be heard, and so we want to help amplify them. And we're really excited that we were able to partner with Playground because they had a similar mission, and we want to help creators to be heard and also help them actually earn for what they're doing. One last thing I'll say is, like, you know, when you spend a lot of your time just writing on Web 2 social media, that, you know, you're generating income for these big businesses, and you're not really getting anything except for followers. So I think that's one thing that Web3 can really change. Like, we can actually give back to creators, help them earn for their content and the things that they're producing.
I'd like to segue into another question, because I feel like we've learned a lot now about what it is that your organizations are doing to create this impact. We know things like language barriers, or needing a middleman to break through, have limited underserved and underrepresented communities from evolving at the pace of tech advancements like Web3. So my next question is, specifically, how is it that your organizations are addressing those potential barriers that might prevent these communities from engaging with Web3 technologies? And what approaches have you found most effective in bridging that tech literacy gap? And I'm going to start with you.
For us, the most powerful thing that we do is our in real life activations. And with every in real life activation, we curate content and programming for founders or developers or community builders in Web3, right? So as these new blockchains are out there, you know, what is the winner out there? Is it Ethereum? Is it Solana? Is it Near? Is it Celo? we don't know yet, right? But for us is, I'm in a very privileged position that I was able to sort of have connections and understand and knowing individuals across all chains. And for us with Web3 Familia, in every event that we do is we just bring them all to the room. We do interviews, we do programming, we do content, and we bring investors, we bring developers, we bring founders together, and just magic happens, right? Obviously, we try to do it in Spanish. We do content in Spanish. And beyond that, also what I think has helped us grow sort of the community is that we physically go to Colombia, we physically go to Brazil, we physically go to Argentina, we physically go to Mexico, and sort of people in America, sometimes we forget, I'll include myself into that we live in a bubble, and being here together with investors, with founders, with developers, top talent, is not common sense in Latam, and us bringing that to Latin America is a privilege. And sometimes for us, we've become sort of that top of mind. And because we have access to all these sort of, I don't know, programs for developers, grants for founders, right? We bring that to Argentina, and just literally all we do is resource aggregation and like distribute it via our events, our programming, and our newsletters, right? So there's nothing, I think, innovative that we do beyond obviously being in a privileged position to understand and know the market players and just bring all that information to local communities outside of just New York. Like we've done events in obviously Miami, we've done events in Texas and San Francisco, and we always put like a Latino flavor to it, right? Like we make it culturally relevant. We throw events where we talk about creators in the space, Bad Bunny, like we do reggaeton parties for developers in Web3, you know? So we always try to be culturally relevant. And for me, I think once I was able to be my natural self, be unapologetically Latino as fuck, and everywhere that I go, I don't have to waste bandwidth on assimilating, right?
Yes.
So if we could create that space with Web3 Familia, that's what we want to do, not just for Latinos, but for just everyone, right? So, and then I'll close it off. We like to say that we're Latino focused, but we're Latino focused, but not Latino exclusive.
Yeah.
So if you care about education, come and you're welcome to La Familia. So
I love that. I definitely want to bring it down to you, Asya, because you seem like you were ready to answer the question.
Always ready. You know, I feel such a great relief because I'm listening to what you guys saying, and I understand that I'm not kind of fighting some myth or some dream. So it's kind of like real things happening. And it's true that it's a big gap in between these two worlds, that maybe we have an opportunity and we have responsibility even to merge together. So happy to have you all here. You heard my story, that everything started in my life because I'm actually a film director and I was shooting commercials and music videos and documentaries and enjoying actually the stage and the set because it's one of the best places ever. But then the war interrupted this filmmaking journey, let's say, and when we needed to make big and fast decisions that bring me actually to organizing CITYX marketplace for fragile art, as I told you. But what I noticed after, so to make in the first drop, we needed to have signatures of all the, of all the paintings that we have in our Ukrainian collection. And you understand that if some of the paintings are the beginning of 20th century, so we don't have alive authors of these paintings, and we need to find all the relatives, nephews, nieces, grandkids, and so on and so forth to have the signatures. And at that moment, we realized that this gap is even bigger than we can imagine. Because to explain people who are like, I don't know, 72 years plus, it's impossible to say that we're making a MetaMask wallet and you need to try to understand how it works to connect it with your credit card, and then you will be a part of a blockchain that is pretty transparent, and then you will have this copyrights till the end of your life because you're a great artist. And they were like listening to me and saying, no, it's okay, maybe we don't need it. We understand what is a physical fair, we understand what is a physical gallery and exhibition and how to say, like how to sell this art. And yes, so it's a huge part of educational process.
Yeah.
And actually for both of the communities, for the both sides. One side, who, let's say in my case, art lovers, right, art collectors from physical web to world, they don't understand the value of this digital tool. It seems to them not real, not serious, not as important, kind of a bubble. Because there are lots of bubbles around, and we also know about that, yeah? But for the other community, digital one, who are sitting in Twitter spaces and spending all their life in Web3 and building this wonderful opportunities, actually, they don't understand the value of these physical objects. They don't understand why they need to touch this canvas to feel the, let's say, energy and all the meanings that the artist put there if they can see, like, let's say, like something just digital, moving and sparkling, yeah? So educational process takes a long to explain not only technical processes, but the meaning of them and how it could be merged again together. And what is very important about Web3, I suppose, we're all thinking from time to time from a point of view of competition. We're kind of trying to be competitive, or we're naturally competitive, because we want to make it faster, bigger, better. We're like in a competition. And what is provided in Web3? It's a collaboration. It's a not competition. And it's not when we're running and trying to get something like in a distance. We're involved and we can impact the history and the rules. And this is beautiful in Web3. This is maybe the main point that should be heard.
I absolutely love that sentiment. At Prompt, one of the things that we say is that we don't enter the conversation, we prompt it. And I think that seeing each and every one of you not just being observers, but actual, innovators in the space and really making the things happen and connecting directly with the communities is amazing. The next question, I definitely want to have Emily and Nesma share, some thoughts about the upcoming panel directly after this one. We only have a few minutes. We'll touch on wellness. And certain elements of technology now have kind of received a bad rap. Being contributors to like emotional distress and feelings of anxiety and loneliness, obviously due to many of the things that have happened since 2020. Do you feel that your organizations are defying this by being as inclusive as you're trying to be?
Well, I can only share my experience, and I think that actually having these online communities, which I've gotten involved with over the past couple of years, it really got me through like the pandemic first off, but also I think I have a better social life than a lot of my friends who aren't in Web3, and I think like your friends and having that kind of like companionship really affects your mental health and your wellness on so many levels. So I would just say it's only added to my life. And like I've made friends with Gwen over here who joined our team.
Hi, Gwen.
And I've had some other friends here who've showed up from who I actually hadn't even met until right now, but I feel like I've known them for so long
as a result of the community building. I love that.
Yeah, so I think that's just one of the really great positive things about the space, and a misconception that most people have, that like, well, it's not physical and it's not like it's you're just talking to people online, and it's not really true. Like, look at what we're doing today and how we've brought people together. So
I love that. Nesma?
I think I want to start my reply kind of piggybacking on what Asya said and what you were asking. How do we demystify and create real accessibility to technology? And so for me, it's just basically to make it simple. The technology that we're creating has to bring value to us. If we can explain the value that it brings in very simple terms, then people will get it. How many of you know actually how the internet works, or like the electricity in your home, and can actually break it down? All you know is that you can go on and you can browse and you can get all the information you want, or that you flip the switch and that there's light. And so I think that like we're in the early stages of like these tech innovation, especially around blockchain, where we're getting too heady and like techie and making it complicated. And again, we're losing like sight on like what are we really creating? How are we really bringing value? And how are we really communicating that? It's like, it's not about ego, we say it's about eco, you know,
I
it's
love
about
that,
just like,
yes.
again, flipping the me to the we and understanding what change do you really want to bring forth? And then what are your tools in order to do that? And so the way that we see, and when I say we, I want to give a shout out to my co-producer Xenia and I, who's probably watching on the live stream and who's been really amazing into supporting pulling this through. And so that's just like remembering that we got to stick together, that we got to support one another, and that actually when we do, we rise, we amplify, you know, we inspire others to join us. So I think that, so it's a cultural framework, right? And it's narrative framework. And then it's creating these experiences so people can feel that and be engaged with that. And then steering technology and the products that we create not to be driven by capitalizing on our money, on our intention, on our well-being, in order, you know, to make stakeholders richer, but really by creating value. And if we do, then they will get richer anyways, because we'll want to use that. So I just like invite everyone to really like not get lost into the techie heady thing and really connecting and exchanging on like what type of value are we bringing together, what type of products are we creating, how are we communicating that, and how are we contributing to co-creating that change. And I'll just say one last thing because I think it's a perfect kind of addition. Actually, the Wow Cube here, Asya mentioned, so we partner with them to bring this NFT collection on this awesome product, and we were really excited because of what she shared and the artistic applications for it. But it actually is a great tool for wellness. It helps neurodivergent brains, people with ADHD. You know, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube, but it has other components of it. And there's so many applications. So it's those types of product that I actually really fell for, you know, and was really inspired to having them come on this journey with us, because it's not just to capitalize and to have you to buy. It's really creating value. You can exhibit, you know, pictures of your family, you know, like your travel vacation, or there's actual real like research based of how this is helping for your well-being, you know, and your mental health. So yeah, so that's kind of like my 2 cents on
That's
that,
great.
Destiny.
So I think we've actually met our time, but I do want to have each person on this panel really quickly, singular sentence, just a couple of quick sentiments. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs, creators, businesses that are looking to leverage blockchain for social impact in their communities?
I would say blockchain is just tech. So I would say keep it simple. If you're a founder, you know, talk about what problem you're solving. Put the tech under the hood, push forward, right? That's something that we tell our portfolio companies. And then as an entrepreneur, I think just by creating these communities, every single one of us here, you're already helping and adding value from a wellness point of view, because by having that community that you can talk to, that you could joke around with, that you could go on jogs with, that you have something in common, which is the love for technology, specifically blockchain, that is very, very helpful. And a lot of people come to me all the time and they're like, wow, so I can like salsa, I can like cumbia, I can like reggaeton, but also love blockchain and technology and be a founder? Yeah, you can do all of that. And that's what we sort of want to create with Web3 Familia, that you could be a developer and, you know, just be your natural self. You could be a founder and be your natural self. You could be an investor and just come to us and you could just be your natural self. So I think what every single community that is represented here, I think there's intentionality behind everything that you do. And as long as you do it with a good heart and you have a good North Star, I think everything just aligns.
You can make it happen, yeah.
Yeah, I would say everything's about community now. Whether you're an artist, you're an entrepreneur, you're a musician, brands, like they're all building communities. So you don't necessarily need to know much about blockchain, but I would say just get involved, buy a little crypto, like it doesn't hurt, see how it goes. And also just get involved, like network with people, because like I said, it's just all about community.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yep. I'm a big fan, and I'm a small seed investor into creative economy and passion economy. And I believe that blockchain and Web3, again, giving us this opportunity to finally teach how to monetize what you kind of created, all these professions, film directors as well, like artists, like all these that give such huge amount of inspiration to other professions and other community. They always thinking about how they can monetize what they're doing, what they're producing, what they're spending tons of time. And finally, this is a tool, and finally creators can kind of pay their own bills, not waiting for the, I'm trying to remember this word in English, mecenat, who is helping with, who is buying art and supporting emerging art, usually these people, So each of us in the blockchain and in Web3 could be this person who is supporting and who is creative, new stars, new big names, new artists. So it's a great tool. I hope that it will save the world of art, at least.
Yeah. Nesma, you want to bring us home?
Okay, so advice for an entrepreneur that would like to leverage Web3 or blockchain. I think in my previous answer, I kind of summed it up. Create value. Understand how these technologies are tools for you to create value. Understand what problem you're solving, and then understand which tools you're going to be using to solve that. And then I guess to bring us home, like Destiny said, so I just want to give you two updates. Also, with 1,000 Faces, we currently have our second cohort accepting applications for female founders until December 31st. So if you're a female founder, you're interested in making an impact, you're interested in leveraging technology to solve it, I invite you to check out 1,000 Faces Accelerator program and to apply. And it's a really wonderful and supported community. The first cohort was actually financed through an NFT sale collection. And we're also launching the Impact Passport, which basically is just a utility gateway for you to be engaged in the ecosystem. So again, thank these as utilities, as tools. Thank you so much, Destiny, for moderating and bringing us together.
I was actually going to thank you guys for your insights and just for being actual change makers who are innovating and inspiring and making real impact in the world. So, brilliant panel. Thank you guys. Thank you to the panelists.